Welcome in, everyone. I have been wanting to do an extensive interview with my friend Chandra Perkins for a while. For those of you who don't know, Chandra Perkins was our local Remarkable Woman winner. She received a nomination, went through this whole process. She won. She got a great trip. She's an amazing person doing great things. I wanted to bring her in after everything kind of the dust settled. There was a Hollywood trip. There's a whole to-do that we're going to dive into. But after all that, I said, let's talk about it. Let's bring her into the studio. So Chandra Perkins, welcome in. First off, let's just give everybody a little bit of background. If you guys have been living under a rock over the last couple of years, I want you to know what Chandra has been doing with a wonderful nonprofit that she started, Storybridge. How did that all get started, Chandra? How did you dive into that? You were in education first, right?
Yes. So my background here in Amarillo is as an elementary teacher. I taught kindergarten, first grade, and fourth grade, and then went into reading recovery, which is kind of a reading specialist position, and then into curriculum specialist with AISD, literacy trainer. So I was networked within a lot of our elementary schools and within the school district, and had worked on either side of the socioeconomic spectrum. Yeah. And really it was that experience going from teaching in a school where children were coming with very few material resources at home, to working in a school where children were just flush with all the resources you can imagine. And the difference in their ability to learn how to read, the difference in their experiences of the world and academic achievement in the long run. A lot of that became apparent that a lot of that had to do with their access to books, which I thought was a real solvable problem for us, especially in Amarillo. We're a close-knit community, and if we just make people aware that there's a need for kids to have really rich personal home libraries at home, and a lot of kids are coming to school without anything like that. So that's how Storybridge started.
So let's talk about that first trip over to Mesa Verde Park. So you grab your son.
Yes, two sons.
You grab your two sons, you load them up, you go over to Mesa Verde. What's the book that you read? You wanted to go read to kids out there, right?
I actually do remember. It was called It's Mine, about frogs on a pond, and they were always competing for the shade, they were competing for the sun, they're competing for the bug in the air, and they ended up competing for the last rock in a flood. And they had to share the last rock in a flood. They ended up having to decide to work together and share. So yeah, I think the author is Frederick Leone or something like that.
Okay, so you take this book and you just go out to Mesa Verde Park, and were the kids like, this lady wants to read to me? Like, is this like, what is going on?
Yes. Oh, I'll never forget it. I mean, it was like, we didn't have a reservation or an appointment with these kids or anything. So
you just brought a book.
Show up at the park and some books that the boys had outgrown or were done with from our house that we were planning to offer them, to choose one and keep. And so I just yelled out from the corner of that park, anybody want to read a story? And there were these 8 kids that heard me, and I'm sure, thinking back, I tell people, I'm sure they were like, oh my gosh, this poor teacher is lost in the wild out here in the summertime. But they knew exactly how to respond to a teacher. They just were like, okay, well, you can read us a story if you want to. And so they walked over, and they were all so sweet and sat down. We sat in the grass, and they listened to that book. And I told them, we brought some books to share with y'all. If y'all would like to look through what we brought and choose one that you want to keep, take it home, it's yours. And they were thrilled and so excited and so grateful. And they each picked one. And I bet we had 100 books in that collection we brought over there. So we gave away 8. And when I tell this story, I remember vividly putting the rest of the books back in the back of my Yukon. The boys got in the back seat. And I was so proud of myself, Andy. My ego was as big as Potter County. I just thought, man, this is great parenting, Chandra, great citizenship. I just was patting myself on the back the whole way into the car.
So then in your prayer time, how did that end up working out for you? How did that work out for you?
Oh, it didn't take, it took a block. I got into the car feeling larger than life. I had so much fun, and it was a good feeling, but it took me literally less than 3 blocks of driving through their neighborhood that I realized,
You didn't even make it out to Northeast 24th by that time, did you?
No, I didn't make it to Grand before I was in tears. And I don't know another way to describe what happened to me in those blocks other than God just broke my heart, and I remembered all the snack packs we are giving in this city every weekend, all the thousands of families that struggle to keep food on the table for the weekend, and appropriate shoes on their kids' feet, and medicine, and coats, and all the things that we as teachers had seen with our own eyes. And I thought, I don't know why I'm proud of myself. I'm sure I just gave them maybe the only book they own. Because if you're not able to keep those felt needs, then children's books is just a dreamy luxury.
So tell me about the journey and really the change that, and we've had this conversation that God began to have in your life of going, there's something here. Like, it wasn't just a casual trip to Mesa Verde Park. God began to work on you 3 blocks away from the park. At what point did you feel a call of like, I got to do more?
That day at the stop sign at Grand, I remember praying, okay, God, I'll come back. I'll give away as many books as you can send me. And it's one of those be careful what you pray for kinds of moments, because it didn't take long. Word got around. My circle of friends was cleaning out their bookshelves, and they were coming to the park with me every week that summer. And hardly a day went by where I didn't open my front door and somebody else had dropped off a bag of books, to bring to Mesa Verde. And we came back every week that summer, and we went from 8 kids. So the kids start knowing we'll be back next Thursday.
So the original 8, do you remember any of the names?
I don't. I wish I did.
And how long ago was this?
That was 2016, so 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I like to think that you just created a love of learning, and these kids just went on to college and just were like, man, I remember this lady. She gave me a book.
I hope so. Yeah. That's a sweet thought. One of the things that from that first summer that sticks out to me is how it grew every week. From those 8 kids, and they, we said, we came back that next week and told them we're going to come back next Thursday. And it went from 8 kids that first week, and by the end of that summer, we were seeing 80 that would just come out. And we're not giving away toys or candy or anything like that.
Just books.
Books. Yeah, just for books.
Okay, so from 8, what was the last count that you guys did about how many books that you've put in kids' hands?
It's right around 745,000. 700.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes, it adds up fast, and every week it changes. So I'm trying to keep up, but yeah, it's somewhere around there.
So just that one again, I love the story of you doing that and having that cathartic moment of God saying, no, there's something else here, and you were wise enough to listen to it and obedient and go through all that. And so when I got to tell that story recently, and we're going to put a link down in this section here where you can click on it and you can watch the story. And we'll also put a link on there where we gave her the big size check and everything. So all of that, all the work that Chandra has done here in our area led her to being our remarkable women of 2025 here in Amarillo. So with that, we got to surprise Chandra. It was so much fun. Make sure you click on the link because there's this wonderful little surprise party that we throw for her. And then we tell you that you're going to Hollywood. You are back. You brought some goodies. It's a little show and tell.
I did.
What in the world was that like?
Oh my gosh, Andy. It was like a Cinderella kind of Princess Diaries experience. All of that out there in Hollywood feels unreal.
Like a fever dream almost, right? You're like, wait, what happened?
Yes. So even from landing in the airport, there's a sign waiting for me that says remarkable. It didn't have my name on it. It just said remarkable woman. And I walked up to him and I was like, it felt so funny because I walked up and I was like, I think I'm the one you're looking for. But there were like four of us.
It's very Star Wars. I think I'm the one you're looking for. I am the chosen one.
There were like four of us on that flight together. We didn't know it at the time. But we all found that guy that was holding that sign. And so he was looking for the four of us. And it was just a fun moment where we all kind of walked to his sign and we meet each other. And
I wish I could have been the guy holding the sign. Like, right, I wonder how many people came out because it's just remarkable women. And you could have gotten anybody to say, hey, I'm a remarkable woman.
Yeah.
So you get picked up and you're one of how many women at this point once you realize how many people are there?
I'm one of 125.
This is all across our country. Nexstar, our parent company, put this on. It's their little baby. They love doing this, and we love doing it because it allows us to tell these wonderful stories of these amazing women. And so you go, tell me, like, what was it? We'll get to the Jennifer Hudson show here in just a minute. So tell me kind of what it was like, the entire event. Kind of walk me through it.
Okay. Well, the first night, they bring us to the hotel, and it's just the ride to the hotel was also surreal. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. We're driving down Hollywood Boulevard to get to this hotel, the Lowe's Hotel. We're right across the street from Jimmy Kimmel. So there's our hotel, and then across the street is Jimmy Kimmel. Behind our hotel is the hill, the Hollywood sign on the hill.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of mind-blowing that all of that was really real. Like, I'm seeing this not on a TV screen, but I'm really here, yes. The first night they had a welcome poolside cocktail party, rooftop poolside cocktail party.
It's very Hollywood.
It's very Hollywood. And it was from 6 to 9. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's so long. I'm an introvert. Have I mentioned this?
Oh, I know.
And so I looked at that and thought, there's no way I can stay for a 3-hour party.
Like, I think I can make it to 7:15.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. And my room was the 16th floor, and I could look down on the 5th floor rooftop. So the pool is right outside my window. Yeah. And I could see everybody coming, and I remember these butterflies just churning in my stomach, looking down from this window, and all these women coming from all over the country. And I was so nervous. And then I psyched myself up. I pepped myself up. I thought, we're all in the same boat. I mean, we all have a story. We all want to share it. Mm-hmm. We're all passionate about something. They're gonna want to share their story with me. And anyway, I had to tell myself all these things. I brought the dress. I'm here. I gotta
do
buck up. Yes, go to the party. But it was funny. I thought to myself, as an introvert, I thought, man, I lean on my husband as an extrovert a lot more than I realized I did. And when I got back home, I made a commitment to practice being being the only one in the room that I know more often. So I have subbed at a bunco group since I got back.
What?
I have committed to go to the Chamber of Commerce after hours networking stuff because that night I thought, I got to work on this muscle. I need to work on this extroversion muscle.
Well, and that hits home for me. So Michelle, my wife, is very introvert. She's very quiet. She does not like to do all that. So that really is hitting home with me. So you're there. You go down. You meet these wonderful people, and I'm going to assume you stayed until 9.
I actually made it down there about 7, a little after 7.
Fashionably
and I
late.
Stayed, I stayed longer than I thought I would. I met several amazing, remarkable women who I just wanted to talk to one-on-one for a long time. And Lisa Gibbons was the host of that poolside party.
No big deal.
No big deal. I mean, just grew up with her on ET.
Yeah. Well, so I wish I'd brought my phone in because Chandra was texting Cheryl and I throughout this event, and we were just like so happy and so excited. Then the message comes that you're going to, I mean, every remarkable woman gets invited and they go to the Jennifer Hudson show. That's kind of part of the spiel, right? We find out through you that you're going on the show. Like, they have pulled you aside out of the 120 some odd women. You get pulled out to actually go on stage and talk to Jennifer Hudson. Tell me about that experience.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so that was Monday. So the day after the poolside party, Monday they put us on a tour bus of the city. They take us to Warner Brothers. We unload the tour bus at the Warner Brothers lot. They put us on trams. And I knew at that point that I was going to be on the show. I actually knew before I left Amarillo.
When did you find out?
I found out it was a possibility Thursday before I left on Sunday. I found out it was a for sure thing on Saturday before I left on Sunday. And so, I was already like, what do I pack? What do I wear at Hollywood? And then I find out on Saturday I will be on stage with Jennifer Hudson. So then I called my friend Keely Brown.
Mm-hmm. I know sweet Keely.
From Colorful Closets, who's my my style guru friend. And she was the first one that I told. And I FaceTimed her and said, what do I wear to this Jennifer Hudson show? And she was so sweet and helpful. And she helped me pick the outfit that I wore with my Amarillo bandana that I wanted to represent out there. Anyway, so I knew that was happening. And they told me on the phone, somebody will find you on the Warner Brothers lot, and you'll be at the front of the line. The 5 of you that will be on stage, we're going to put at the front of the line. I actually had a handler.
You had a handler?
Yes. So
you are a big deal.
I know. When I got off the bus, it was so funny. This lady walks up to me and she goes, Chandra, it was like a low voice. I'm going to be with you for the rest of the tour. So she pointed out the tram that she wanted me to sit on. And I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. And so the 5 of us that were on stage all got on the same tram for the Warner Brothers lot tour. And I got to meet those women who were on the stage with me at Jennifer Hudson, whom I loved. I had a great visit with Jawan, the one from Cleveland. And then Darlene, the one from Virginia. I just loved them, really connected and loved their stories. Their missions were fantastic. So anyway, we get to the Jennifer Hudson show, the back entrance, and the 5 of us are kind of they have us at the front of the line of this 125 women. When we're entering the studio, the stage for Jennifer Hudson. It was not what I expected. When you enter, it kind of felt like entering the back of a gym. Like I felt like it was small. I felt like I was walking behind the bleachers of something. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
And it felt quiet. Like I felt like they're all on a break. And then we turned a corner, and all of a sudden, there's this chanting and clapping and stomping, and their whole staff had lined the hallway, and it was the Spirit Tunnel, which I had seen on YouTube and TikTok, and but I was not expecting it in that moment. It surprised me so much, and I think I just barely got through it with looking at myself in the video. You can just see I've got my hands over my face. I was in such shock. It was like, and I'm not really a dancer.
Well, I thought you did a pretty good, I thought you did a great job.
It was the sway and clap.
The sway and clap.
It's like from the movie Hitch, you know?
Yeah.
This is where you live, right here.
Yeah, don't get outside of that zone. So you just did the sway and clap all the way through there.
Yes.
And you being the poor introvert, you're just like, I'm sure that whole time you're like, oh my goodness, this is beyond my wildest imagination. You're talking about pushing you out of your comfort zone.
Yes. Oh,
dancing in front
through
of strangers.
A gauntlet. Yeah. Oh, but man, it just felt so good. It felt so good to be with all these women, and because they're all feeling like me. Really, they are. And I mean, in fact, I remember one of the ladies at the end of the tunnel was just in tears. And she was like, I just felt all of that affirmation and it just felt really, really good. Everybody needs a spirit tunnel. This is what I've decided.
How do we make this happen?
I'm going to figure it out.
Who do we talk to at City Hall where we're just we're in a constant state of
It'll be like jury duty. Oh, yeah. You have a spirit tunnel summons.
You need a little bit of extra on the jury duty. So you go and you do the show. What was Jennifer Hudson like?
Oh, so sweet, so authentic, so easy. She hugged all of us. And I feel like it would have been easy for somebody like that to be real high strung, and just you come in, you do your job, you check out. She was really interested. So during the commercial breaks, she talked to each of us some more about what we do and where we're from and how this experience has been. And I just really, really liked her.
Well, what is the thing that really, I know you felt like you were living in a dream. What did you bring home from Amarillo from that trip?
Well, it's nice to have this conversation about a month afterward, because I think I was still in shock for a while right after I came back. But now it's been so clarifying to have some time to look back and process that experience. I'm so thankful for the recognition. I also have been thinking a lot about life. I don't mean to get too deep about it, but, you know, life hands you troubles and trophies sometimes. And both are difficult to carry forward and still be real agile in life, in your mission. And so I think there's a skill, there's an art about being able to accept either one when it's their time and learn the lesson from either one, the trouble or the trophy, and then learn how to lay it down and not carry that forward, but let it become part of your story and keep turning the page.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a book you need to work on, Trophies and Troubles.
Maybe.
Chandra, thank you for, you talk about Jennifer Hudson being authentic. You're authentic. And the people who have been able to be in your sphere just know how wonderful you are. And I'm just so glad that as a community at Amarillo, we got to celebrate you, that you got to be celebrated in that wonderful thing, and you got to meet all these people. Now, do you stay in contact? Are you guys in a group?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook group that we keep up with each other pretty regularly. And the winner from last year, the national winner, was there with us this year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The winner from 2024 was with us this year. And she said their group last year is planning a cruise. And so, we were like, well, that's a good idea. So I'm kind of hoping that comes together.
Well, I'm sure that something will happen. I mean, you have more than 100 top women in the country together. I'm sure that will get worked out. Chandra, thank you for being who you are. What would you tell, before we go, what would you tell that woman that's out there that has a calling on her life, and she's like, maybe, I mean, for you, it was a call to put some books in her trunk and go to Mesa Verde. What would you tell those people that are on the cusp of doing something wonderful, but they haven't put the key in the ignition yet?
I would just so encourage them to do the small things with great joy. Because it wasn't this it wasn't, I say this, gestures wildly. When it started, it was a small thing. It wasn't a giant idea. It was 8 books and done in community with some willingness to mess up along the way and learn a lot. But it's been such great joy. So I would just encourage them to do the thing that brings them joy. I think about the quote by Frederick Buckner, I think, that said, your purpose is where your deep joy meets the world's deep need. And just to follow that in small ways.
All right, before we go, you've given out a lot of books. What was your favorite book as a kid?
Okay. God, you're going to make me pick just one, aren't you?
Just one.
Okay, I'm just going to throw out one that I really loved. It is by Beverly Cleary, called Dear Mr. Henshaw.
Okay.
About a little boy who writes letters to his favorite author, and it becomes a diary of sorts for him. I just loved it so much.
Okay, that's your kid pick. What is your favorite book as an adult?
I mean, I'm going to just pull out one of my top 20.
Okay. I think for this,
it's so hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favorite books would be, oh man,
it's hard. Like this is like, I feel like this is like Oprah's book club. Yeah. Right. You got to pick a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna go with The Hiding Place.
Okay.
By Corrie ten Boom. She was a Holocaust survivor. She was a Polish Christian who helped hide Jews and then arrested and survived the concentration camp and then lived to make a career out of teaching people how to forgive. Just a really powerful testimony.
Say the name of that so that way our viewers can go check that out.
It's called The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom.
It's a good one. All right. Well, I can't wait to see what you continue to do in life. I know you're proud of your boys, proud of your husband. I know they're proud of you. And thanks for being my friend. Thank you for letting me continue to share your story in this wonderful journey. But I think it wouldn't be a terrible idea for you to write a book. I don't think it would be bad at all.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration.
Give some thought to that. I mean, you do live in a world full of books. Yes, it's only fitting that you would put something down on paper. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. If you've got somebody that you want me to talk to here on this program, it's called Let's Talk About It. Reach out to me. You can send me an email at ajustice@kmr.com. You can find me on Facebook. I'm out there in all of the worlds, even worlds I don't want to be in. I'm out there, so you can reach out, get a hold of me, and maybe we'll sit down and have a conversation. But that's going to wrap it up. Chandra, thank you.
Thank you, Andy.